and my budget adopts a hopeful new approach to help the poor and the disadvantaged. We must encourage and support the work of charities and faith-based and community groups that offer help and love one person at a time. These groups are working in every neighborhood in America to fight homelessness and addiction and domestic violence. To provide a hot meal or a mentor or a safe haven for our children. Government should welcome these groups to apply for funds, not discriminate against them. Government cannot be replaced by charities or volunteers. Government should not fund religious activities. But our nation should support the good works of these good people who are helping their neighbors in need. So I propose allowing all taxpayers, whether they itemize or not, to deduct their charitable contributions. Estimates show this could encourage as much as $14 billion a year in new charitable giving. Money that will save and change lives. Our budget provides more than $700 million over the next 10 years for a federal compassion capital fund. With a focused and noble mission, to provide a mentor to the more than 100 million children with a parent in prison. And to support other local efforts to fight illiteracy, teen pregnancy, drug addiction, and other difficult problems. With us tonight is the Mayor of Philadelphia. Please help me welcome Mayor John Street. Mayor Street has encouraged faith-based and community organizations to make a significant difference in Philadelphia. He's invited me to his city this summer to see compassionate action. I'm personally aware of just how effective the mayor is. Mayor. Street's a Democrat. Let the record show, I lost his city, big time. But some things are bigger than politics. So I look forward to coming to your city, to see your faith-based programs in action. As government promotes compassion, it also must promote justice. Too many of our citizens have cause to doubt our nation's justice. When the law points a finger of suspicion at groups, instead of individuals. All our citizens are created equal, and must be treated equally. Earlier today, I asked John Ashcroft, the Attorney General, to develop specific recommendations to end racial profiling. It's wrong and we will end it in America. In so doing, we will not hinder the work of our nation's brave police officers. They protect us every day, often at great risk. But by stopping the abuses of a few, we will add to the public confidence our police officers earn and deserve. My budget has funded a responsible increase in our ongoing operations. It has funded our nation's important priorities. It has protected Social Security and Medicare. And our surpluses are big enough that there is still money left over. Many of you have talked about the need to pay down our national debt. I listened, and I agree. We owe it to our children and grandchildren to act now. And I hope you will join me to pay down $2 trillion in debt during the next 10 years. At the end of those 10 years, we will have paid down all the debt that is available to retire. That is more debt, repaid more quickly than has ever been repaid by any nation at any time in history. We should also prepare for the unexpected, for the uncertainties of the future. We should approach our nation's budget as any prudent family would. With a contingency fund for emergencies or additional spending needs. For example, after a strategic review, we may need to increase defense spending. We may need to increase spending for our farmers or additional money to reform Medicare. And so, my budget sets aside almost $1 trillion over 10 years for additional needs. That is 1 trillion additional reasons you can feel comfortable supporting this budget. We have increased our budget at a responsible 4%. We have funded our priorities. We paid down all the available debt. We have prepared for contingencies. And we still have money left over. Yogi Berra once said, "When you come to a fork in the road, take it." Now, we come to a fork in the road, we have two choices. Even though we have already met our needs, we could spend the money on more and bigger government. That's the road our nation has traveled in recent years. Last year, government spending shot up 8%. That's far more than our economy grew. Far more than personal income grew, and far more than the rate of inflation. If you continue on that road, you will spend the surplus and have to dip into Social Security to pay other bills. Unrestrained government spending is a dangerous road to deficits, so we must take a different path. The other choice is to let the American people spend their own money to meet their own needs. I hope you will join me in standing firmly on the side of the people. You see, the growing surplus exists because taxes are too high and government is charging more than it needs. The people of America have been overcharged and, on their behalf, I am here asking for a refund. Some say my tax plan is too big. Others say it's too small. I respectfully disagree. This plan is just right. I didn't throw darts at the board to come up with a number for tax relief. I didn't take a poll or develop an arbitrary formula that might sound good. I looked at problems in the tax code and calculated the cost to fix them. A tax rate of 15% is too high for those who earn low wages, so we must lower the rate to 10%. No one should pay more than a third of the money they earn in federal income taxes. So we lowered the top rate to 33%. This reform will be welcome relief for America's small businesses, which often pay taxes at the highest rate. And help for small business means jobs for Americans. We simplified the tax code by reducing the number of tax rates from the current 5 rates to 4 lower ones, 10%, 15, 25 and 33%. In my plan, no one is targeted in or targeted out. Everyone who pays income taxes will get relief. Our government should not tax, and thereby discourage marriage, so we reduce the marriage penalty. I want to help families rear and support their children, so we doubled the child credit to $1,000 per child. It's not fair to tax the same earnings twice, once when you earn them. And again when you die, so we must repeal the death tax. These changes add up to significant help. A typical family with 2 children will save $1,600 a year on their federal income taxes. Now, $1,600 may not sound like a lot to some, but it means a lot to many families. $1,600 buys gas for 2 cars for an entire year. It pays tuition for a year at a community college. It pays the average family grocery bill for 3 months. That's real money. With us tonight representing many American families are Stephen and Josefina Ramos. They are from Pennsylvania. But they could be from any one of your districts. Stephen is the network administrator for a school district. Josefina is a Spanish teacher at a charter school. And they have a 2-year-old daughter. Stephen and Josefina tell me they pay almost $8,000 a year in federal income taxes. My plan will save them more than $2,000. Let me tell you what Stephen says. $2,000 a year means a lot to my family. If we had this money, it would help us reach our goal of paying off our personal debt in 2 years' time. After that, Stephen and Josefina want to start saving for Liana's college education. My attitude is, government should never stand in the way of families achieving their dreams. And as we debate this issue, always remember, the surplus is not the government's money, the surplus is the people's money. For lower-income families, my tax plan restores basic fairness. Right now, complicated tax rules punish hard work. A waitress supporting 2 children on $25,000 a year can lose nearly half of every additional dollar she earns above the $25,000. Her overtime, her hardest hours, are taxed at nearly 20%. This sends a terrible message: you'll never get ahead. But America's message must be different. We must honor hard work, never punish it. With tax relief, overtime will no longer be overtaxed time for the waitress. People with the smallest incomes will get the highest percentage of reductions. And millions of additional American families will be removed from the income tax rolls entirely. Tax relief is right and tax relief is urgent. The long economic expansion that began almost 10 years ago is faltering. Lower interest rates will eventually help, but we cannot assume they will do the job all by themselves. "40 years ago, and then 20 years ago, 2 presidents, 1 Democrat, 1 Republican, John F. Kennedy and Ronald Reagan advocated tax cuts too, in President Kennedy's words. Get this country moving again. They knew then what we must do now. To create economic growth and opportunity. We must put money back into the hands of the people who buy goods and create jobs.